Li Xiao woke up with a severe headache. Greeted, its cobweb beams and crumbling earth walls. A strange memory flooded into my mind. He crossed. It became the Tianbao period, the destitute rural son who is about to be disgraced. Penniless. All that remains is a broken house and a barren fief. The beginning is Hao mode. He smiled wryly and groped his whole body. Only 3 rusted Kaiyu and Tangbao were found. Great despair overwhelmed him. Just then, a cold mechanical voice exploded in my head. Shengxi infrastructure system was successfully bound. The blue light screen forces the novice task to pop up. Double the tax revenue and population of Lanshan County and attracted the attention of Emperor Li Longji. Failure punishes soul annihilation. Li Xiao was stunned for a while. Immediately ecstatic golden finger system that, give me the money, give me the seeds. Request denied. Please be self-reliant. Hope is shattered. Double taxes. See the Emperor. You might as well just wipe me out now. He watched the blood-red defeat punishment and countdown, roaring angrily into the air. This is 10,000 times worse than 996 Fubao. Tired of scolding, he slumped on the ground. Cold fear and extreme unwillingness rolled in his chest. Countdown to a second. Seconds go by like a mantra. After a long time, he clutched the penny tightly. Crazy flames in my eyes. Want to play me to death? No way. An extremely risky plan took shape in his mind. The most powerful woman in Chang'an. I took this KPI. Li Xiao clutched the San, Kaiyu and Tangbao tightly, rush out of the broken house and go straight to Chang'an West Streetcar Water Malong. Vendors are hawking. But he turned a blind eye to the bustling scene. There is only one thought in my mind. Use these Sai-Cents to pry the entire Tang dynasty. He's zipping around the market, sweeping through every booth like a torch. Finally, he stops at a honey stall. How much can the last sown honey salmon buy? He asked in a hoarse voice. The stall owner glanced at him. I broke a small piece of blackened candy and threw it to him. And he goes to the livestock market, waiting by the sheep pen. Don't talk with the copper coin until sunset. The shepherd gave him some freshly squeezed goat milk. The last copper coin. He bought some of the cheapest caramels and a small jar of coarse salt. Back to the broken house. Li Xiao immediately started to get busy. He followed the simple recipe provided by the system. Mash the stone honey to melt and filter impurities. Mix with goat milk and stir. No ice cellar. He could only hand the crock pot in the well water to cool. After several failures, finally made a bowl that was slightly rough. But in this day and age, it's a magical milky cheese. Almost. He was mumbling something to himself. Eyes on the wild mint in the corner. Pick a few young leaves, mash and drop the juice into the iced cheese. Suddenly the fragrance overflows. Then comes the bigger challenge. He needs to bring this bowl of iced cheese to the palace, in front of the person who can decide his life and death. Through the memory of the original owner, he found his neighbor, the old servant Fubao. Fubao used to work in the palace. A nephew works as a handyman in the palace. This is my last hope. Li Xiao carefully put the iced cheese into the food box. If it can be delivered to the concubine, there will be thanks in the future. Uncle Fu looked at the food box with a worried face. Shaolongjin Palace. In case something goes wrong. If it's not horizontal or vertical, it's a death. Li Xiao's eyes were determined. If you bet on how many times the stone box had been turned around, go through layers of level, finally fought by a small eunuch, trembling, it would present it to Yang Yuhuang, who was enjoying the flowers in the imperial garden. The concubine didn't care about this inconspicuous but there was a strange sweetness. Let the maid open it. I saw milky white paste in the white jade bowl, steaming cold, garnished with emerald mint crumbs. It's especially tempting on this hot summer day. Concubine Yang nibbled a spoonful and put it in her mouth. Instantly cold and sweet. The wonderful taste of milk intertwined explodes on the tip of the tongue. What is this? His beautiful eyes are slightly open. Take a few bites. Go and ask your majesty. When Li Longji tasted it, he was equally happy with Longji. News flew out of the palace walls like wings. There is a kind of fairy who eats and is deeply loved by saints and empress. The next morning, there was a sudden uproar outside the broken house. The housekeepers and servants of the prince's mansions flocked to block the narrow alley. My prince is willing to pay 10 yuan for a bowl of iced cheese. The duke's mansion has Arshipas sages. I am from Prince He's mansion. As much as you want. Li Xiao is standing in front of the broken house. The ecstasy of the afterlife welled up in my heart, but he soon calmed down. Lengxing said that this thing is extremely difficult to make. Only 3 bowls per day. The highest bidder gets. The strategy of hunger marketing is immediate. The price is getting higher and higher. When the sun goes down, Li Xiao is already holding a heavy money bag in his hand. He not only survived, received the first pot of gold. However, just a cold voice sounded outside the crowd. Who is gathering the crowd here? Test papers available. Tax geometry. Crowd separate. Several tax collectors came in. The leader's eyes are as sharp as yin, staring coldly at Li Xiao. Leader really and 2 of her men pushed the crowd away. His eyes locked on Li Xiao like a falcon. Take out the test paper and take a look. He reached out his hand in an unmistakable tone. Li Xiao's heart tightened. The test paper is a business license issued by the government. Where did he get the test paper from? A rundown imperial family. But he didn't say a word. Salute calmly. This official boy is not in business. Just making some snacks for friends and family. Give to relatives and friends. Taxi sneered and pointed to the surrounding crowd. These are your relatives and friends. Half of the powerful houses in Chang'an are your relatives. The crowd snickered. Li Xiao's face did not change. Ladies and gentlemen, appreciate the lucky boy's craftsmanship. The chief tax collector narrowed his eyes. Suddenly, he reached out and lifted the linen cloth covering several fermenting crock pots are exposed. What are these? Bootlegging is a felony. Guan Yi Mingjian. Li Xiao hurriedly opened the crock pot. This is glutinous rice for making ice cheese. Alcohol. If you don't believe, the official can taste it. The sweet and sour aroma wafts from the jar. It doesn't taste like wine. The leader of the tax collectors looked even uglier. He was obviously being directed. You have to find fault. Since it is not a business, where does this money come from? Could it be the proceeds of theft? Just then, a clear female voice came from outside the crowd. What an official prestige. Everyone gives way. I saw a girl in a goose yellow dress walk around. The sword servants followed behind him. He was about 14 or 15 years old. The eyebrows and eyes are agile and the temperament is extraordinary. I still need to report to you. The girl glanced at the tax collector. Remove a waist tag from the sleeve. The head tax collector saw the waistband. His face suddenly changed. He hurriedly bowed. They're not there. It turned out to be the little lady of the Yangwan mansion. The girl ignored him. He turned to Li Xiao with a playful smile. My prince and princess tasted your ice. She is full of praise. This is Wu Shiyuan. Send 3 bowls to the palace every day in the future. Saying that, let the servant carry a heavy money box. Li Xiao's heart shook. Eternal King Li Lin is the son of today's saints. This is a huge backer. He saluted quickly. The boy obeyed. The tax collectors retreated in dismay. The crowd gradually dispersed, but Li Xiao's name. But on this day, it spread all over the Chang'an Kuangui circle. Wait for everyone to leave. The girl goes and returns. He looked curiously at Li Xiao's broken yard. You are really a son of the clan. How can you live in a place like this? Li Xiao smiled bitterly and briefly explained the situation. A look of sympathy flashed in the girl's eyes after hearing this. My name is Yushu. She is the maid of the Yangwan mansion. If you have any difficulty, come to the palace to find me. Send away Yushu. Li Xiao looked at the mess in the courtyard and the box of copper coins. Mixed feelings. And he understood that this was just the beginning. I borrowed the matter of Yongwan mansion I must repay this favor in the future. What made him even more wary was the tax collectors. They were obviously directed. This means that someone has already followed him. In this Chang'an city, no power, no amount of money can keep the system. He asked me in his mind how many points I had now. Current points 150 points. Achieve a small-scale sensation. Achievement reward 100 points. Li Xiao browsed the system mall. Finally use 100 points. Redeem for primary cement making process. To really get a foothold, you have to own something that you cannot easily take away. He looked west in the direction of Lanshan County. I gradually have a plan in my heart. Ice is just a stepping stone. The real battlefield is in that barren windy land. The next morning, Li Xiao hired a carriage. With the money earned these days, go out of Chang'an City to Lanshan County. The carriage bumped on the lowest road. The fields by the road are barren. Occasionally you can see yellow-faced and thin farmers working when reaching the field. The scene in front of you is worse than imagined. Large tracts of land abandoned. The few tenant farmers lived in thatched huts. Hide in fear when they see the carriage. Li Xiao found the local Li Zhen, a skinny old man. I heard that he is the new pig master. The old man knelt on the ground with a paw. Long Jun, forgive me. It's not that the little old man doesn't pay the rent. I really can't afford it. Li Xiao helped the old man. Looking at this barren land, eyes are on fire. From today onwards, everything here will change. Li Xiao stood on the highest slope of the fief. It looks barren. Withered and yellow weeds swaying in the wind. Several run-down huts are scattered across the field. Like a forgotten pawn. A few yellow-faced and thin farmers in the distance. And he's looking over here in fear. The system scans the land. Li Xiao said silently in his heart. Scanning poor soil, overly alkaline. Insufficient water. Irrigation systems are in disrepair. It is recommended to improve the soil and build water conservancy. Lao Wen followed behind him trembling and kept wiping cold sweat. Lan Zhen is not a little old man who is not heartless. It's really been a bad harvest in the past 2 years. Most of the tenants have run away. Li Xiao didn't blame him. Instead, he asked how many households there are now. Originally 37 there are only 12 left now. Lao Wen smiled bitterly. It's all old and weak women and children. I can't leave even if I want to. Li Xiao nodded and suddenly raised her voice to call everyone. I have something to say. After half an hour, more than 20 people came sparsely, mostly the elderly and children. All of them are ragged with dishes and clothes. They looked at the young pig master in horror. I don't know if what awaits them is a blessing or a curse. Li Xiao asked someone to carry out the rice grains into a small pile. The crowd suddenly swallowed saliva. From today onwards, Li Xiao said coldly that all taxes are free. The crowd went into an uproar. I can't believe my ears are more than that. He continued, I'm going to rebuild the canal and improve the land. Those who were willing to work managed to meals another 10 yuan for processing Even money. Lao Wan was stunned. Lang Jun can't do this. It costs a lot of money to repair the canal. Don't worry about money. Li Xiao pointed to the pile of rice grains. Start now. Eat first. And the crowd went crazy. Rich people make fires and cook. Old people weeping with excitement. The children jump around the rice pile. Soon the smoke rises. The fragrance of rice pervades the barren land. Li Xiao pulled Lao Wan aside. Water conservancy drawings provided by the deployment system. I'm going to dig a main canal here, branching from here to various fields. Just as he was talking, the teenager suddenly came running. There are many officials at the entrance of Longjun village. Li Xiao's heart froze. Sure enough, a pair of yeomen rode into the village. It was led by Li Xiao, the former head tax collector. The tax collector triumphantly held up the document. Someone sued you for private occupation of official land. The villagers were so scared that they retreated. Li Xiao laughed and privately occupied the official land. You're talking about this thief. What thief? Really said sharply that Zongjing Temple documents are here. Your title had been removed. Li Xiao was shocked, but the face is still calm. Bring me the document. Sleepiness is about to break out. The sound of horses' hooves suddenly came. A pair of knights galloped in. The leader shouted at the Yongwan mansion to make the idlers retreat. Use a clean dress. The horse came to Li Xiao. Lin Lin glanced at sleeping Power Yang King's order. Lanshan County Li Xiao is currently credited concession of his fief to implement the new law. Who dares to stop? Sleepiness pale face. Quickly dismount and kneel down. Yushu stopped looking at him. He turned around and smiled at Li Xiao. I heard someone is bothering you. Specially asked me to support you. He lowered his voice, but you have to move fast. The prince can only protect you for a while. Li Xiao bowed deeply. Li Xiao keeps this kindness in his heart. Waiting for Yushu to leave, Li Xiao looked at the terrified villagers. Suddenly said coldly, did you see it? From today onwards, no one can bully us anymore. He held up the hydraulic blueprint now. Let's start changing all of this. For the first time, hope lit up in the eyes of the villagers. Under the leadership of this young man, they pick up their tools and walk to the barren land. The first rock back rises, symbolizes the beginning of Lanshan's new life. Sunset. Li Xiao stood beside the fledgling canal. Listen to the sound of the villagers' labor. No, it's just the first step of the long march. The canal project ran into trouble on the third day. Serious seepage of canal wall compacted by most of the newly dug ditch collapsed in less than half a day. The villagers looked at the ditch filled with muddy water. The hope that had just been lit on his face was gradually extinguished. Lang Jun, can you do this? Lao Wen grabbed a handful of wet and soft loess with a sad face. The soil is too loose. Can't hold water at all. Li Xiao squatted by the canal, fingers twisting the damp soil. Ask in your heart, what is the solution of the system? It is recommended to redeem 100 points for primary cement production process. The current points are redeemed for 250 points. Instantly, a lot of knowledge floods into my mind. Limestone calcine clay ratio grinding into powder. Li Xiao's eyes lit up. Lao Wan, is there a lime kiln nearby? There's an abandoned lime kiln Shimiao's. Lao Wan wondered, what does Longjun want lime for? Not only can the canal be repaired, I can also put you in a new house. Li Xiao smiled. Bring a few people and we'll go now. Abandoned lime kilns collect dust, but the kiln body is still intact. Li Xiao commanded the villagers to clean up the cave limestone and clay. According to the system recipe, they mix the ingredients in proportion, light them, shake them. When the first shake comes out, the finished product is gray with yellow in it. The villagers looked at the strange pile of powder and looked at each other. Lang Zheng can really repair the canal. An old man couldn't help but ask. Li Xiao did not answer. Bring the bucket yourself. Mix the cement powder with water and stir. The gray paste gradually grew in the puzzled eyes of the crowd. It solidifies and finally turns into a hard stone. God! Lao Wen exclaimed as he touched the hard cement block with his hands. This is harder than stone. The villagers went crazy. One after another came forward to touch this magical material. Curious kids were banging on the concrete with sticks. Make a crisp sound. Keep burning the kiln. Li Xiao ordered that the main area be fully reinforced today. In hot work. A pair of uninvited guests arrived quietly. A few well-dressed young men riding tall horses, looking at the busy scene on the construction site from a distance. That is the much talked about Li Xiao in Chang'an recently. The purple-clothed youth led by the leader. It's just a mud leg. The man in blue next to him echoed. I heard that he got this fief by courting the Yang Palace. Now I'm really doing good, people. Their sarcasm is not small. The villagers have stopped what they are doing. He looked at Li Xiao uneasily. Li Xiao didn't seem to hear it. Continue to guide villagers to pour canal walls. The cement runs down the formwork, quickly solidify into smooth and sturdy channels. Hello, the young man in purple rode his horse. You're the one who makes iced cheese. Make me some bowls to taste. Li Xiao didn't lift his head. No iced cheese today. The presumptuous young man was about to whip but suddenly froze. The clear water in the canal reflects his twisted face, and what shocked him even more is that mirror-smooth concrete channel. What is this? He dismounted and stroked the channel. Incredible face. Li Xiao turned around and smiled slightly. A little trick made the son laugh. Several dudes gathered around. TSK at the cement channel. The arrogance just disappeared without a trace. In its place is curiosity and inquiry. This material could build a house and pave a road. The man in blue asked eagerly. Naturally you can. Li Xiao fetched a cement slab, stronger and more durable than blue bricks. The eyes of the boys and buddies suddenly changed. They were born fake. Immediately see the value of this material. If it is used to build city walls. The young man in purple suddenly handed over his hand and was rude. Under Kuiyan, my father works in the Ministry of Industry. I wonder if Lan Zheng would like to talk in detail. Li Xiao's heart moved. The Ministry of Industry is just the breakthrough he needs. Inconvenient today. He is deliberately showing off. To be completed. Please taste again. The sons left angrily, but step by step I looked back at the miraculous water. Li Xiao knew. News of the cement will soon spread throughout Chang'an. Under the setting sun, the clear water finally follows into the dry fields. The villagers knelt by the canal, excitedly holding up water and splashing it on their face. Children are running and playing by the canal. Laughter echoes in the twilight. Lao Wan is in tears. The old man lived to be Roushi. The first time I saw such clear water. Li Xiao looked at the jubilant crowd. An unprecedented sense of achievement rises in my heart. The system prompt tone sounded in time. Complete the hidden mission what the people want. Reward points 100. Cement technology attracts the attention of the powerful. Mainline task progress update. He looked in the direction of Chang'an, knowing that the real challenge has only just begun. Cement is a stepping stone, has knocked on the door to the center of power. Li Xiao's carefree food is popular all over Chang'an. But recently, he has suddenly stopped doing his job. Close a sign at the door of the shop. The back kitchen is a sudden change in style. The pots and pans are missing. In its place are various bottles, jars and strange molds. System, are you sure this thing will work? Li Xiao rolled up his sleeves, staring at the bubbling pot of mixture in front of me. My heart is beating. Under the nanny-level tutorial of the system, Li Xiao put grass and wood ash lard and vegetable oil are mixed together. Heat and stir carefully. Watching a pot of paste gradually take shape, he quickly added the petal juice that had been prepared. Peppermint leaves and vegetable essential oils at the bottom of the press box. An indescribable fragrance filled the air. God, it's done. Li Xiao sprayed the fragrance, poured the spray soap into the mold. Fushu pattern rabbit magnolia. All kinds of cute shapes. Soaps of various flavors are freshly baked. That's not the end. He uses another set of distillation, a more powerful perfume. The fragrance is long-lasting and advanced. Li Xiao decisively suspended the food business. Put all your wealth on these secret weapons. He's in no hurry to go public. He went through the back door, through special channels. Make this batch of soap and perfume a royal boutique. Sent directly to the palace. Sure enough, the concubine fell in love with it as soon as she used it. This soap not only washes clean, it's still fragrant and slippery after washing. The perfume is amazing. One drop can last all day. With the princess, the top lip streaming whole, soap and perfume instantly exploded in the aristocratic circle. The ladies are scrambling to buy. The price of a bar of soap is more expensive than gold. A bottle of perfume is sky high. This wave of operations directly made Li Xiao make money. The profit is Shiba streets away from selling delicious food. But at this time, it was a different scene in the Prime Minister's mansion. Waste is waste. Yan Guozong looked at his room, shop this month's ledger. He was so angry that he smashed the teacup to pieces. Why did they sell so little this month? Where are all the guests? The shopkeeper was shaking with fear. Prime Minister, now the nobles of Chang'an. They all go to grab that one. Something new for soap and perfume. Said our Rouge Gouache can't keep up with the times. Yan Guozong kicked over the tent, yelled at the housekeeper. Find out where the soap shop is. I'd like to see how long he can be proud. Soap perfume made by Li Xiao, not only in the circle of ladies, even in the palace. This is not even heard of the emperor himself. This celestial dynasty Li Xiao is white. He entered the hall with a brocade box. Yan Guozong got angry when he immediately jumped out and started spraying boldly Li Xiao. A mere volley. He defiled the same thing with something magical. Li Xiao didn't take up the stubble Opened the box calmly. A high-end fragrance wafted out in an instant. It suppressed the original incense smell in the hall. Li Longji's eyes lit up on the dragon chair hiking. I have seen this thing at the concubine. It's really good. What do you have to say about bringing it here today? Your Majesty. Li Xiao took advantage of the situation. This soap and perfume looks like a gadget, but the profits are scary. The grass people are willing to hand over the bulk of their Majesty to the treasury. The inner hall. Saying that, he handed the ledger up. Li Longji was just flipping through it casually. As a result, the more you look, the straighter the eyes become. That's more than some places spend in a year in taxes. Yan Guozong is anxious. His Majesty cannot be a merchant. This boy must have ulterior motives. Yan King, Li Longji interrupted him, pointing to the heart-pounding numbers on the ledger. I only see real military salaries. See real money. The border is tight now. The treasury is short of money. This ledger is simply a gift in a hurry. The more Li Longji sees Li Xiao, the more you make money by inventing. Also take the initiative to submit. Such a person is not on top. who is on top. Li Xiao listened to the decree. The emperor slapped the dragon chair. I have made an exception to promote you to Jingyan County magistrate. The civil and military of the Manchu dynasty. Jingyang is an affiliated county around the capital. This promotion speed is not so fast in rockets. Yin Guozhang's face turned green with anger. But below the decree, he had to bite his back molars. Li Xiaokai took over the official seal with excitement. Wait for him. Walked to the entrance of the county government office with the official standing below. My heart skipped a beat. These people appear to be respectful, but there are those who watch the play and those who are not convinced, and waiting to trip him up. He paused on purpose. Sound down. The deficit left by the previous county magistrates Yin Shanggong specifically explained that it should be made up as soon as possible. Do you want to slow down? That sounds concerned. In fact, he just stuffed the hot potato directly over. The surrounding officials pricked up their ears. Wait and see how Li Xiao picks up the call. Li Xiao clenched the official seal in his hand. The cold touch instantly woke him up. This is not an official. Obviously jumped into a hole that had been dug long ago. Li Xiao took office with the official seal. The blood is not hot yet. I have seen what is called official the mold fritters. My lord, this is the account book of recent years. Master Qian Ling asked someone to lift him up with a respectful face. There are boxes of books piled up like hills. Li Xiao casually opened the book. Good guy, the handwriting is like a ghost talisman. Income and expenditure items are messed Obviously, up. I want to give him this new rival a slap in the face. The gang of officials below bowed their heads. The corner of the mouth holds back just waiting to see the young county magistrate who rose to power by selling yourself. As a result, Li Xiao's operation directly made them all look the ledger shut. Wave your arm. Just push the whole box of books to the ground. I don't care about the past. He stood up. The voice is unequivocal. Whoever likes to check these bad debts will check them. From today onward, Jingyan County sets new rules. Look at the stunned crowd. He directly threw one flag. From now on, the county will recruit refugees for relief. Shushui Letang River. If you work, you will pay for the meal. Lao Wen quickly persuaded the adults. It costs too much money. Is it easy to cause trouble when refugees gather? The money matter will be solved by the official. Li Xiao directly interrupted who dared to make Everything is done strictly. Just when everyone thought it was over, Li Xiao took out another roll of silk books from his mysterious sleeve. Smile builds roads and houses. We use this cement. The people under the cement are all blinded. Look at each other. This new county magistrate doesn't play according to the account routine. Book is come up read. And do big projects. And took out something I had never heard of. Li Xiao looked at their skeptical expressions. I'm secretly happy to play audit with you. Too low. Lao Tzu directly creates a new version. When Li Xiao took out the cement formula, the old fritters from the county yamen are submissive on the surface. I'm complaining in my heart that this new county magistrate is not a fool. Take a pile of ash and powder to build the road, but it didn't take a few days. Everyone was dumbfounded. The style of painting in the open space outside Jingyang City changed suddenly. The refugees who had nothing to do before. It's in full swing now. They call that ash powder cement, mixed with sand and water, turned into sticky mud, spread it on the ground. Then a miracle happened. The mud hardened in a few hours. One day later, dude is as hard as stone. Step on the ban. The carriage pressed over it and didn't move. A strange road that is flat and straight, gray and white. It grows like crazy at a rate visible to the naked eye. Same day by day. My mother. How was this road repaired? An old man crouched by the roadside. Feel the smooth road. Eyes are about to pop out. I have lived most of my life. I have never seen such an evil road. And here's the best part. It rained a few days later. Usually when it rains, the path immediately turns into a mud hole. Don't get out if the wheels get stuck. But this rain, the rain just runs off the concrete road. The road is clear. The people were all shocked. They came to see the ferry road. Li Qingchen is using an immortal method. The market shoes will not get dirty on rainy days in the future. The family goes this way to Chang'an to deliver Said it would save half a day. Business people went berserk. This road is a cash cow. Shipping time is greatly reduced. The loss is almost zero. Jingyan County suddenly became lively. Even the taxes of the county yamen are rising. Those officials who were waiting to see the joke now before. I see that Li Xiao's waist is lower than anyone else's. Blessed is written all over my face. Does this new county magistrate really have something? Just when everyone in Jingyan County was immersed in happiness, a fast horse rushed into the county yamen like crazy. The scout on horseback rolls breathless, shouting, "My lord!" Not good. The Dalong and Sanyuan County next door has all roads are cut. The house collapsed. Disaster victims are everywhere. The construction site that was in full swing just now was instantly all quiet. Eyes. They all focused on Li Xiao. Li Xiao looked in the direction of Sanyuan earthquake. It's a disaster. But the next second his eyes suddenly lit up. Look at the hard concrete road below. I looked at the gang beside me, the newly trained engineering team. He turned sharply. The sound resounded through the audience. Everyone copy guys and get ready to work. The foreman Lao Wen came over and whispered to remind the adults. This cross-county disaster relief requires the will of the Imperial Court. And we don't have enough grain and cement. Li Xiao can't control that much with a wave of his hand. Save lives. Do it first. Just as the team was getting ready to go, a fast horse comes again. This time the messenger is dressed in imperial uniform. The voice is called County Magistrate Li. Yan Shangang has ordered Jingyan County must not move. Everything is pending the decision of the messenger's gaze swept over the team ready to finally landed on Li Xiao. Meaningfully added a sentence. Especially the origin of your special materials. Shanggong is very interested. The audience fell silent. All eyes are focused on Li Xiao. The news that the Earth Dragon in Sangyuan County turned the whole court was fried. On the throne, Li Longji rubbed his temples, looking at the ministers quarreling below. Brains are buzzing. The Ministry of Housing is crying said that the Treasury really can't come up with that much money for the servant of the Ministry of Industry said the road was cut off and there were not enough incredibly people. Hard to rebuild. The Emperor on the dragon chair is getting darker and darker. These people usually compete for power and profit. And something each one really is better than the other, but none of it worked. Right at this juncture, and Babai, my expedited memorial from Jingyan County, sent directly to the Imperial Court. His Majesty is the daughter of Jingyan County Magistrate Li Xiao. Goliath whispered to remind him. Li Longji frowned. What is a county magistrate doing at this time? But when he opened the instrument, his eyes widened. In the end, I couldn't help but clap and scream. Be nice, Li Xiao. It was quiet down there. Everyone pricked up their ears. I saw Li Longji excitedly read the content of the concert. Li Xiao said that Jingyan County is willing to fully assist neighboring counties. He is not only willing to accept the disaster victims. He also proposed to use a cash-for-work method. Guan and people from Jingyan County help Sanyuan County repair roads and government offices. Yin Guozong immediately jumped out to oppose his majesty. Li Xiao's move is clearly grandstanding. Where did this small Jingyan County get so much money in grain? If it goes wrong, it will trigger a popular What are the consequences? But Li Longji ignored him at all this time. The emperor's heart is clear. This Li Xiao just relied on soap and perfume. I made a lot of money for the inner hall. Now I take the initiative to stand up and share his worries. How can such a capable and caring subject play accurately? Li Longji waved his hand to preach my will. Li Xiao, Jingyan County responsible for disaster relief in Sangyuan When the imperial decree reached Li Xiao had been busy for a long time. He opened it as soon as possible. The money I made selling soap and perfume before I got to the taxes from the trade boom after the road. It all comes in handy. Large quantities of food were shipped to the disaster engineering team with cement and tools. Go quickly, Sanyuan, while the victims elsewhere are still starving. Disaster victims in already ate hot disaster relief porridge. What makes them even more unbelievable? This Lord Li from the neighboring county. Let them work for food. Don't be afraid, folks. Li Xiao stood on the ruins and shouted loudly. As long as everyone works together, I promise to keep you all fed this winter. There are houses. Let's use the cement to build the road. Build the house. And they're kind of skeptical, and they're picking up tools. They all drop their jaws. This gray cement is amazing. The collapsed official road was restored in a few Collapsed days. Houses rose in less than half a month, and 10 times stronger than the original adobe house. The news soon spread back to Chang'an. When Li Longji looked at the newspaper, the road when was the disaster open. Victims are properly placed with the word epidemic. He stood up directly. He pulled Gaulus's mobile game and sighed Luxia. This Li Xiao is really my blessing. Yin Guozong's face was as black as the bottom nails of a deep into the palm. He forced a smile to congratulate his majesty on this good minister. However, the Jingyan County magistrate is so capable. It reminds me of something. He leaned in and whispered, Sangyuan County is adjacent to Jingyan. Today, County Magistrate Li's reputation in Lingxian is so high. The people of the two places only know that Li Qingchen does not know the laws of the court. If this goes on, not finished. But Li Longji's smile obviously faded a bit. At this time, Jingyan County, Li Xiao is looking in the direction of Chang'an. Master is beaming. The Lord is so rewarded. Are you going to rise to the top? Li Xiao shook his head gently. The finger unconsciously taps the reward. List of rewards. The greater the reward, the deeper the disaster. Yin Guozong is probably already digging a hole for us at this moment. He looked out the window at the darkening sky and muttered to himself. I'm afraid what's coming next is not a royal decree. It's a dark arrow. Resolve the mine crisis. Li Xiao was about to breathe a sigh but found that the county was in a hurry to store food. Resettlement of displaced people and construction projects. Traditional farming simply cannot keep up with demand. On this ridge, Li Xiao watched the old farmer struggling to use the straight The old scalper was panting. Plowing is shallow and slow. When you are worried, the system prompt tone sounded ding. Reward Kuyuanli design drawings and composition manual. Li Xiao immediately found a carpenter to build according to the picture. A few days later, he brought the peculiar Kuyuanli to the field. This thing works. The old farmer one looked suspicious. Who knows? The audience was shocked. Kuyuanli is easy to operate. Deeper and straighter. More than double the efficiency. God, this is immortal energy. When Lao Han's hands were shaking with excitement, Li Xiao took the opportunity to promote new farming tools. County-wide grain production is expected to double. Liu Ming came to settle down one after another. Wasteland turned into fertile land. Watching the wasteland turn into fertile land, Liu Ming became a homesteader. Someone can't sit still. This day, Li Xiao is checking out the newly built Kuyuanli. Several big landlords led by Master Xiao stormed into the county office aggressively. Lord Li, Master Xiao arched his hands with a smile. It is a good thing that you promote new agricultural Let those refugees and lowly households this is illegal. Divide their fields. Did they pay the rent? What is Mr. Xiao's opinion? Li Xiao raised his eyebrows. Our meaning is simple. Master Xiao sneered. Immediately stop distributing Kuyuan revocation of the seating system. Otherwise, the landlords behind him took a step forward in unison. The voice is menacing. Our family will start a full strike tomorrow. Lord Li, if you don't take it back, the whole line will be cut off during the autumn harvest. Can you afford this responsibility? The officials in the hall took a deep breath. This is directly pinching the lifeblood of the whole line. Li Xiao looked at this group of fearless landlords, suddenly laughed. He slowly took out a small wooden bag from his arm, put it on the table. Stop farming. It just so happens that I have a new rice seed here. It is said that the yield per mu is 7 times the current. I'm worried about having nowhere to try planting. He looked at the landlord who had changed his face in an instant. Your land is also desolate. Why don't I help you plant it? The landlords were aided by Li Xiao's new path. Don't dare to act rashly for the time being. But the more Master Xiao thought about it when he returned to the mansion, where did this Li Xiao come from? Kaoshang is clearly deceiving them. Good Li Xiao, he almost got me. Master Xiao summoned the other landlords overnight. Stop farming as usual See tomorrow. What he can do to me. The next morning, 70% of the county's arable land has indeed stopped farming. The landlords gathered in Xiao's mansion and waited to see the county yamen. Who knows the three poles of the sun? But cheers came from the direction of the county yamen. The housekeeper rushed in. Sir is not good. Li Xiao, he opened the official warehouse to distribute grain. The teacup in Master Xiao's hand was smashed to pieces. At this time, people outside the county yamen were queuing up to receive food. What shocked the landlords even more was Li Xiao actually moved the account book to calculate the Xiao family owes 3,000 pounds in taxes. The Tian family owes 2,500 stone in taxes. Every time he pronounces a number, the people below exclaim, I wanted to save you some face. Li Xiao sneered. Since you have chosen to stop farming, then settle the tax arrears today. The landlords were astonished. Li Xiao had long known their details. Just as they panicked, a pair of yamen appeared holding thick account books. This is evidence that they have been evading taxes for years. Good Li Xiao. Master Xiao gnashed his teeth. Are you going to kill them all? That night, Master Xiao brought a few confidants. Take advantage of the moonlight to escape. Before leaving, he said Li Xiao fiercely in the direction of the county yamen. You are waiting for someone in Chang'an City who can treat you. Master Xiao and his party fled to Chang'an in disgrace. Kneeling directly in front of Yan Guozang's mansion. Shangyi Li Xiao is lawless. Master Xiao snot in tears. He forcibly occupied the mentioned terrace. They're going to drive us to death. Yan Guozang squinted and finished listening. A sneer rose at the corners of his mouth. Tomorrow morning, you just cry. I want to see how Li Xiao quibbles this time. The next day in the throne hall, Master Xiao and others cried, calling Li Xiao a heinous corrupt official. Your Majesty, Li Xiao is trying to force the people of Jingyang to rebel. Master Xiao is full of acting skills. Li Longji on the dragon chair frowned. Li Aiking, what these people say is the truth. Li Xiao stepped out and hurriedly. Your Majesty, there are several account books Your Majesty, here. Please take a look. When the Chamberlain presents the books, the more Li Longji looked, the more blue his face became. The books. Chu recorded the amount of tax evasion by the Xiao family and the copy of the contract they seized mentioned. Very good. Li Longji slammed the ledger to the ground. My Jingyang County had become your money back. Master Xiao and the others suddenly looked ashen. They never dreamed. Li Xiao actually figured out their old background. Your Majesty Mingjian, Li Xiao chases after victory. These people, there is enough food at home to feed the whole county for the first half of the year. But I would rather have the food moldy than watch the people starve. It is really hopeless for the minister to open the warehouse. The ending is no suspense. Master Xiao and others were directly dragged into the prison. Yin Guozang stood aside with a livid face. After retreating, Li Linfu stopped Yin Guozang outside the palace gate. Yin Xiao said with a sorrowful smile. Now he sees it clearly. This kid is not a simple character. Yin Guozang stared at Li Xiaoyuan gone back, squeezed a sentence out of his teeth and made him proud for a few days. Soon he will cry. Finish packing up those self-abusive landlords. Li Xiao can finally pursue his industrial revolution by the Jing River. Mind. A strange water wheel squeaked and turned, driving dozens of textile machines to run automatically. Oh, my God! Lao Chen of the textile workshop. The eyeballs are about to fall out, and this machine can handle Ashua workers. Li Xiao patted the water wheel proudly. Where is this? See that conveyor belt? Spinning here, weaving there. Finally, directly dye and pack one dragon. Less than half a month, the price of Jingyang cloth has dropped to 30% of the market. The quality is surprisingly good. As soon as the news spread, even the cloth merchants in Chang'an came to Li Xiao to buy goods. That's not the end. Li Xiao built a paper mill by the river again. Used the same hydraulic power to drive the pulp. Paper that used to take days to make. Now it can produce hundreds of knives a day. The price has dropped to the price of cabbage. Lord Li, are you trying to kill us all workshops? A cloth merchant from Chang'an said half-jokingly. Don't worry, you smile and say that everyone earns money together. You can buy from me. Sold to the western regions. Profits are still huge. These words quickly reached the ears of the merchants in the western regions. On this day, a camel team marched into Jingyang. The leading suit business person spoke a blunt Mandarin. Lord Li, we need 10,000 cloth. 5,000 knives of paper. Can it be delivered within 3 months? The workers were stunned. Old Chen stammered and said, Lord, we can only produce 3,000 at most a month now. Li Xiao's eyes lit up. Why don't you answer? He turned to the craftsmen and shouted, get all the refugees from the next county shimi or water. Let friends in the western region see what daytime speed is. It's Li Xiao's water conservancy workshop running at full speed. When preparing to make orders in the western region, the document slammed into his desk. 10,000 stone army grain. Li Xiao looked at Gong Wen and laughed angrily. Yan Guazang is going to cash me out. Hollow it out. Master is so anxious that he stomps his feet. Our current warehouse can now scrape together at most 3,000. The gap is too big. If you can't get it together, you'll lose your head. Word spread quickly. The newly rising Jingyang suddenly cast a shadow. The craftsmen in the workshop are worried. I'm afraid that the job I finally found will be yellow again. Yan Guazang sipping tea leisurely in Chang'an Mansion. He smiled at his confidant and said, what can Li Xiao do? This time see how he conjures up 10,000 stone army if the military supply is even delayed. His majesty can't keep him. Yan'ei, Jingyang County. Li Xiao locked herself in the study for 3 days. Just when everyone thought there was nothing he could do, the study door suddenly opened. There was a golden light in Li Xiao's eyes. Prepare your horse for the beach. Master looked confused. My lord, we should find a way to raise food now. What to do at the beach? Li Xiao got on the horse. A mysterious smile arose at the corner of his mouth. Since they don't play according to the routine, then don't blame me for handing up. Just as he was riding the horse and whipping the whip, the familiar tone sounded in my mind. Ding. New mission starts. Open up sea salt pans. Reward salt drying method. Li Xiao reined in the reins and looked to the distant sea. Suddenly burst out laughing. Yan Guazang, Yan Guazang, you think you cut off my food roll, but I don't know if he gave me a golden mount. Li Xiao led a team to the beach. I have confused the master and the yamen. My lord, this is burning eyebrows. Shall we come to the beach to fish to satisfy our hunger? Li Xiao laughed. We're here for silver. Under the guidance of the salt drying method provided by the salt soon spread out by the sea. Sea water flows down the ditch, blowing through the sun and wind, finally crystallized into snow-white salt. Workers watched this amazing change. Everyone was dumbfounded. My mother, this seawater can really be turned into salt. It cooks salt much faster than before. Firewood. When the first batch of salt was produced, even the knowledgeable old salt worker was trembling with excitement. So white salt. See you for the first time in my life. Li Xiao took the salt directly to the grain merchant. 1 caddy of salt for 3 caddies of grain. Change it or not. The grain merchant's eyes are straight to change it. Change as much as you have. Message back to Chang'an. Yan Guazang is waiting Li Xiao can't complete the military food mission. But I waited for the good news that 10,000 stone army rations were turned over in full. Where did he get the food? Yan Guazang broke his beloved teacup angrily. What made him vomit blood? Li Xiao's salt farm is getting more and more prosperous. The salt produced is abundant and the price is still cheap. Directly knocked down the salt price in Chang'an. This day, several big salt merchants came to the door with sad faces. Master Shang, you have to call the shots for us. The private salt produced by Li Xiao has messed up the market. Yan Guazang's face was gloomy. Don't worry, I'll write to your majesty. Charge him with the private salt mill for disrupting the market. He sneered and looked in the direction of Jingyang. Li Xiao, this time you hit the knife edge yourself. Yan Guazang's memorial has not been handed over yet. He set up a tea party at the county. All salt merchants, big and small, are invited. Ladies and gentlemen, Li Xiao, get straight to the point. I know you have a problem with me, but think about it. Is it better to work with me than against me? He came up with an official salt cooperation plan. A salt merchant can take a stake in his salt dividend per share. You can also be an agent. Get the goods from him at a low price and sell them everywhere. You can settle the bill. Li Xiao smiled. It is to wait for death by guarding the smaller and smaller and grow the business with me. The salt merchants immediately exploded. The younger salt merchants' eyes lit up. Master Li, this is a great idea. We don't dry the salt ourselves. It sells more salt. But a few old salt merchants led by Master Chen slap up the table. Nonsense. The salt administration of the imperial court will not allow Master you to change Chen, it. Li Xiao said slowly. You smuggled 3,000 克 salt road If this gets out. Master Chen suddenly turned pale. A few other salt merchants who still want to Li Xiao also pointed out their black information one by one. Finally, more than 70% of the salt merchants signed a cooperation Master Chen left the table angrily with a few best friends. Talked to Li Xiao viciously at the mouth of the yamen. You cut off people's wealth. There will be retribution sooner or later. That night, the master came to find Lord Li Xiao wearily. Master Chen and the others are afraid that the dog will jump over the wall in a hurry. I'm afraid they won't dance. I've got the game set, just waiting for them to jump into the pit. A dark shadow flashed quietly outside the window. Dark moon and windy night. A dozen black shadows quietly touched the seaside salt field. Master Chen said that each person will be rewarded with 100 taels of silver. The leader in black whispered. Just as they raised their torches to throw at the salt, a whistle suddenly pierced the night sky. Waiting for a long time, the torches all around lit up in an instant. Shine like day. Saisha security personnel in uniform, handheld cotton stick, appeared like a ghost. The leader of the men in black was taken aback. Quickly withdraw, but it's too late. The security guards are in groups tacit cooperation. One person blocks, one person captures, and one person fills the position of the man in black. They cried in pain, but there was no blood. What kind of play is this? The leader of the men in black was knocked incredible face. Less than a stick of incense. The attackers were all subdued. The security captain lifted the mask of the man in black and sneered. Isn't this the nursing instructor of Master Chen's house? Interrogation room. Li Xiao is playing with a jade pendant. I'm afraid Master Chen doesn't have the guts. Tell me who the real master is. The leader gritted his teeth and wanted to kill or cut whichever he wanted. Li Xiao chuckled. I heard that your son was just admitted as a scholar this year. The leader's face was instantly ashen. After a while, he trembled and said yes. But Ying asked us to come. There were sudden footsteps outside the door. The master panicked and came to report to the Lord. Yan Guozong brought the imperial army here. Forgive us for setting up to investigate the salt field. Seeing Yan Guozong with the momentum of the imperial army, Li Xiao is not in a hurry. Take everyone down and clean up the salt field. He finished. He turned his head and smiled at the master. I'm going to visit Eunuch Gao. That night, Li Xiao carried a small suitcase and a confession. Stealthily entered Gao's private house. Eunuch Gao, this is a little thought from the lower official. Li Xiao opened the box. Gold bars gleamed in the candlelight. Another interesting thing that might relieve my father-in-law's boredom. Goliath glanced at the confession. The eyelids twitched slightly. Then he revealed a tacit smile. County Magistrate Li has a heart. Early morning the next day, Yin Guozong is about to participate in Li Xiao's private armed forces. Goliath is one step ahead. Your Majesty, the old slave heard an interesting thing. The butler of Yang Shangye's house actually very good at the law of good words. He even specially sent someone to Jingyang to ask for advice. Su Wenzong's face suddenly sank. Yan King. Is there such a thing? Yin Guozong broke out in a cold sweat. Your Majesty. This Yang Shangye is sympathetic to the lower official. Li Xiao answered at the right time. Specially send someone to guide the delay. It's just in a special way. Bring torches to guide in the middle of the night. Suppressed laughter sounded in the court. Su Wenzong said coldly, Yan King. Take care of your servant. Retreat to Yang Mansion. Yan Guozong broke his beloved luminous cup. Li Xiao won't kill you. I swear not to be human. A person turned out from behind the screen and whispered, since Shangye is clear, why not try that? Yan Guozong's eyes froze. You mean the prince's side? Yan Guozong really started to trip. A few days, Su Wenzong issued an edict to send emissaries from all walks of life to the court for an audience. This is Yan Guozong trying to take the opportunity to win over Fan to consolidate his power. A figure as fat as a mountain is particularly eye-catching. This person is in Lushan, the envoy of Pinglu Jidu. As soon as he got up, he fell to his knees. My son in Lushan met his majesty. Su Wenzong was teased. Why did I King call herself a son? In Lushan, serious minister is who people respect their mothers. Your majesty treats his ministers like sons and daughters, so he should naturally be called sons and daughters. Fan actually makes Su Wenzong laugh heartily. The Manchu dynasty's civil and military personnel came together one after another. That night, Li Xiao urgently wrote to Lushan to hide his evil intentions. There are many soldiers under its jurisdiction. But every year I cry for food. This grain is not excluded. Must be a disaster. The next day, Yin Guozong ridiculed Li County Magistrate. Could it be that he is jealous of Jidu's favor? Even Su Wenzong waved his hand and smiled, saying that Li Aiking was Lushan is an honest person. 3 days later, when Lushan left Beijing and passed by Li Xiao, this fat guy who had been pretending to be stupid suddenly cast a cold gaze. Speak to County Magistrate Li in a voice that only 2 people can hear. Do it yourself. Li Xiao shivered all over. About to speak, and Lushan had regained his silly appearance, laughed and walked away. After returning home, the master was worried. Since the court does not listen, my lord, why are we asking for trouble? Li Xiao looked north, firm eyes. Pass the order down. Security team expanded to exercise day and send someone to sell it. Buy eyeliner with a lot of money. He clenched his fists and muttered to himself, you can pretend to be asleep, but I can't dream along.